Hello everyone, Marcelo is my name. I am the collector, and this is the collector's collection, meaning that everything that I talk about in these segments, and you'll see my playlist has a number of different videos, I own, I use, and I love. Now, the problem is, my son said to me recently, I love everything. That's the truth. I love it because I own it. I purposely went out and got this to be part of my collection. But I also get my son's point of view, and that is that you, as you're watching this, and if you want to know whether, and we're going to talk about Terrible Teddy today, I'm going to break suspense. I love this one, but we'll come back to that in a minute. But if you want to know whether Terrible Teddy is a great fragrance to go ahead and buy, then you want some level of objectivity. I know, in the words of Dash from The Incredibles, if everything is special, then nothing is. But the problem is, it's like you're asking me to rate my children. Which one do I love the most? I don't. I love them all equally. I love these all equally. What I'm going to do, you're going to help me. But for now, it's my theme song. Like I said earlier, if you are new to my channel, I would love you to subscribe. The Niche Fragrance Collector is all about amazing perfumes from around the world. Today, it's all about PENHALIGON'S. Now, PENHALIGON'S is a very well-established UK brand. It started in 1870. Started off more as a barbershop style of fragrance, gentlemen's sort of fragrances. Then in 2016, they launched what is called the Portraits range, and it's an awesome collection of fragrances. Now, if you look at them, they're sexy looking bottles with the characters and all the rest of it. But on first glance, you can already get an understanding of what kind of fragrance we're going to be talking about here. Today, it's all about Terrible Teddy. And as I said earlier, I absolutely love this fragrance. And watch this. Oh my gosh, how can you not love this? So this is, all fragrances are unisex. However, there are some male leaning or female leaning scents that are out there. And in this case here, this is more, I feel more male leaning. There are some heavier notes in there, leathers and things of that nature, that put it, in my opinion, into a male category. And I'm going to talk as a man why I love this particular fragrance. Now, on paper, this fragrance looks very straightforward. Opening notes, incense, heart notes, leather, and then base ambroxan. Now, ambroxan is a synthetic compound which has ambery, musky kind of notes, but it also, what it does, it creates an amazing longevity in the fragrance. But don't be fooled, because incense, leather, ambroxan is not what you get, in my opinion, from this fragrance. Opening notes for me are peppery. They're a little bit spicy. There's an incense in here, but it's not an incense that I would know, or sorry, not an incense that I'm familiar with. So I have some incense fragrances, but for me here, I can get the incense out of it, but there's a spice, there's something else going on in here. Now, at the end of this video, so I mentioned earlier about, what would you like me to do? How would you like me to? I'm actually gonna create a bit of a, and you're going to be my guide, all right? So I'm going to create a bit of a survey, and I'd like to get your input, but I'm going to come back to that, because right now I'm going to tell you I love, 100%, I love this fragrance. I love wearing it. I love its longevity. I love the feeling that it gives me. This is, in my opinion, a very strong masculine fragrance. The bottle alone tells you this fragrance means business from, I guess, a strength point of view. I love wearing this on a cooler day or even going out on an evening. Here's the interesting part. My wife does not like incense. There's another fragrance that I have, which is Zafiro, beautiful honeyed incense. Gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. My wife does not like it. I mean, and I'll give you a recent example. I love wearing it. I enjoy wearing it, but I know that if I'm going to spend a lot of time with my wife, then I won't be wearing that particular fragrance. I had worn it early in the day. We were chilling on the couch, we were watching a movie, and she said to me, she did this funny sort of movement, and she goes, "What are you wearing today?" And I'm like, oh. In that moment, you're going, because sometimes I wear 2 or 3 different fragrances, depending how they complement each other. Anyway, and I'm like, oh, I'm wearing Zafiro. And I said, Zafiro? She goes, yeah, incense. But it wasn't, I really like it a lot. So what I did recently, because I knew I was going to review Terrible Teddy today, is I said to her a few days ago, have a look at this fragrance. It's a new one that I've got. I was tricking her. And I said, what do you think of this? And because in the past she has said she really enjoys this fragrance. So so seeing if that was consistent. She smelled, she's like, oh, that's really nice. You should get that one. So my wife, even though she does not like incense, enjoys this fragrance. So others in my family absolutely love this fragrance too. My daughter, I actually give her samples that I have of Terrible Teddy, and this has now become my grandson, who's 2 years old, signature scent. Every time I pick him up, his name is Theo, every time I pick up Theo, he smells of Terrible Teddy. So this fragrance for me is, I'm getting universal love out of this guy. So when it comes to the business end on this particular fragrance, exceptional performance. As I mentioned, it has ambroxan in the base. It does create that wonderful longevity of the fragrance. I'm getting probably 7 to 8 hours very comfortably. I do 3 sprays. I know some people like to spray a lot more. I do 3, and I find that 3 sprays last me 7 to 8 hours very comfortably. When it comes to its sillage, it is moderate. So it's not a huge punchy fragrance with a lot of trail. Having said that though, when they come into my sort of circle of contact, they are picking up on this particular fragrance. Finally, the pricing, it is an eau de parfum, meaning that you're going to be paying a little bit more for it. For us Australians, it's $399. There's your US pricing. If you are a subscriber, you can get 10% off from Libertine Parfumery. They are sponsoring my channel, which is very awesome. The code is NFC10, and then they'll throw in a whole bunch of extra sample. It is an awesome way to buy and test different fragrances. All right, now, this is where, oh, wise and great ones, I would love your help. If you want me to just keep, I love it, leave it like that, please put in the comments, keep loving it. I will know that you have voted. If you want me to be a little bit more structured, then I'd love you to say, rate it, with an exclamation mark. I will create some kind of rating system that will define how much I'll work something out. I also welcome your input if you want to give me some advice in this area. Now, if it's an even split, 50-50, my vote still counts, and I'm gonna say I love it. All right, so what I'd love you to do, I'm curious to know how this plays out. Share it with friends. Tell your friends. If you don't worry to, well, if they don't care about the Terrible Teddy review, cool, just skip to this particular moment in time and get them to throw in their hat into the ring, whether I should rate it and be a bit more scientific, or whether I just love it. All right, gang, thank you so much. I really appreciate everyone's comments. Actually, it's super exciting to be so engaged with a community that is so wide. I was gonna name all of it, but I feel bad now. I don't wanna miss anybody out, but the whole world is actually connected to this, which is pretty awesome to think that, through fragrance, that we can we're all companions. Anyway, I like it, it's pretty awesome. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you on the next video.